how's it going, guys? Welcome back to the Highly Taken Podcast. I'm David, back to you again from Tallahassee, Florida.
Christian Smith at you from Elkton, Maryland.
Can't just take a break from taking a hit, man. You got to do that. Hey, Nick, back at you in Jacksonville. Hey, let's get it, guys.
Are you on the casting couch right now?
Yeah, interviewing.
Oh, interviewing. That's how you threw your back out.
That's how I threw my back out, yeah.
All right, well, this is the weekend episode, so we're going to start with Gone in 60 Seconds. Now, Christian's right now driving, so he's actually like Nicolas Cage on Gone in 60 Seconds, so that's great. Have you ever seen that movie, Christian?
No.
Didn't think so. But when you guys are ready, on your mark, get set. Today's episode of Gone in 60 Seconds, I'm going to do something special. I'm going to list off people I think make better decisions than the College Football Playoff Committee. So here I will go. Number 1, Britney Spears. Number 2, Skip Bayless takes. I had a list and I forgot the list. Number 3, Nathan Peterman passing decisions. Number 4, Joe Biden. Number 5,
Joe Biden.
I'm saying people who make better decisions. Number 5, Howie Roseman drafting a wide receiver. Number 6, Cleveland Browns QBs. Number 7, I don't know. I had a whole list and everything. I forgot my list.
It's okay. Howie Roseman drafted Devontae Smith. So
what?
I mean,
Yeah, but the history prior to that was horrible.
I agree. But then Skip Bayless, no, dude. I'm sorry. Skip Bayless has the worst takes ever. And
Not
I'm
if
sorry,
you heard
but
Derek Carr's recent take.
Oh,
yeah. Don't forget
Boy.
that. Sitting Jalen Hurts for Marcus Mariota. Dude, you're stupid.
Yeah.
There's a reason why you didn't make it in the NFL. And there it is right there. If that is your take, I could not understand how you could even play football and know football if you think that is true.
You know, something I said, isn't it kind of funny that we have Derek Carr and Dan Orlovsky being the ones analyzing play on the football field when their football careers were absolutely horrendous?
Arguably like the 2 worst QBs in the history.
Stupid. It's absolutely stupid, man. That's the dumbest thing I've ever heard in my entire life.
Hey, just remember that David Carr beat Dak Prescott in a throw-in quarterback competition while wearing a suit one time. Just want to point that out there.
I mean, yeah, kudos to him for that. But terrible take. I'll take. He needs to go back to the drawing board on that one.
I feel very disappointed in myself. I had a huge list and everything. That was going to be such a banger Gone in 60 seconds. And now it just comes
but
off
you lost me at number 2. You lost me at number 2 by saying Skip Bayless. I mean, come on, dude.
I said bad decision making. I feel people who make worse decisions than that. Christian was on there.
That have made worse decisions, or this is the worst, more of a worse decision than that?
No, they've made worse decisions, like bad decision makers.
Okay.
Antonio Brown.
I do agree with you.
Antonio Brown was also on the list.
Yeah.
What about Urban Meyer?
Urban Meyer at Columbus bar. Pretty bad mistakes there.
I was going to say
Ryan Shazier.
What about Deshaun Watson? Does he make Deshaun Watson with massages?
Robert Kraft. Yeah. The list just goes on.
I can't wait for Robert Kraft and Deshaun Watson to make like a massage company like combine.
All right, guys.
Ray Rice and elevators.
I want to talk about this. Are we going Zap for MVP?
Already? Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, bro, but we're definitely not going anybody on the Steelers for MVP. That's for sure.
Yeah, I got disappointed by the MVP.
They absolutely made him look like the best quarterback in the league by the stats that he put up. Steelers just they didn't want to play. They didn't want to play, man. The MVP over there just shit the bed. I do want to know what happened with this only needing a couple yards and throws a bomb in no man's land. Do we know what happened with that? Because I can't see anything. They're just making fun of him.
I don't know. I'm currently in the car with a Steelers fan. Did you watch the game? Yeah. Do you know what happened on that? what was it? A 4th and 2, and they threw the ball deep?
I
Yeah,
guess.
sounds like Trubisky just threw the game away with a horrible deep ball.
Are we surprised?
You guys call it horrible. I call
No, it was
it
Trubisky.
fierce and competitive.
Amen. But let's be honest. Trubisky's the last player in Chicago Bears history to throw for 350 yards passing. It's pretty impressive.
I mean,
It's pretty impressive.
Can you name me a good quarterback in Bears history?
Jay Cutler, prime Jay Cutler. Come on, baby.
Jay Cutler, the same
That's your
Jay Cutler
best.
that threw 5 interceptions in one game.
That's your best.
6.
Like, the Bears' best quarterback in their franchise history is Jay Cutler.
And they've been around forever. That's
Yeah.
what's crazy. It's their defenses that have been getting them where they need to be. Let's be honest there.
No, what? Rex Grossman carried that team. I don't know what you're talking about.
Good old Rex. Wow.
Yeah.
But I mean, it wasn't really. What a terrible slate for Thursday night game, and they kept going. It's the battle of the eras, and I'm thinking, are we living in 2008? I mean, we're not watching prime Tom Brady and prime Ben. Like, we're watching 2 terrible quarterbacks, backup quarterbacks going at it. Somehow, one of those quarterbacks looked like they were in their prime, but it's just a garbage game. Thursday night football. I mean, it just terrible, man. Just
Well,
terrible.
I mean, I think the biggest headline to come with this is the Steelers dropping back-to-back games against 2-10 teams.
I think the biggest thing to even that, though, is where's this legitimate Steelers defense we're hearing about, right? You just got dotted up by Bailey Zappi and the frickin' Patriots, and then you had Kyler Murray and the boys still come in last week, and they dotted you up as well.
Yeah.
So it's like everyone came into the season, I feel like, kind of knowing that, okay, maybe the offense isn't going to, expectations were the offense was going to be there, and then we found out within like 4 weeks, okay, offense isn't there, but the defense is going to keep us alive. So when you look at the games like the Cardinals and the Patriots, those are the games that the defense is supposed to win you and keep you alive with, and they didn't. It's not like they played.
But you got to think about it too. Like, Pats have a good defense, right? I mean, they're a decent defense. You keep them off the field and refreshed, they're going to play good. Whereas the Steelers, that offense isn't staying on the field for them at all, so they're getting tired, and that shows from what just happened last night. That showed the week before. You're on the field the whole time. We know how it goes. You're tired. You can only do so much. And it proved the fact that they made Elliott look like an all-star. They made Zapp look like an amazing quarterback. I don't know. They looked awful. And to be honest, I mean, I know they're going to let him go when he wants to go, but I feel like Tomlin should just hang it up. He's done it for long enough. He has a great career. Just hang it up. Let someone else come in.
Dude, I'm pretty sure they let Juju Smith-Schuster go for 100 last night. How do you let that happen?
That's his old team.
Dude, I don't care, bro. How do you let that happen?
Yeah. I mean, I said earlier in the season, though, like there's going to be at some point where that corpse of an offense is not going to be able to be held up by that defense. I mean, they were weakened at burning the offense the entire first half of the season. And now, like, you see why you need to put points on the board. I mean, they shut out the Patriots in the second half. They had 0 points in the second half. They did their job in the second half. You get down 21, your offense can't come back. That's where your issue is. I mean, it's not going to happen with that offense.
I completely agree. It sucks.
Yeah.
It sucks because Christian and I both said that these people would go off, and they did, and we didn't take it. Instead, we were like, no, it ain't going to happen.
There's like, 73% of people bet the under last night of, I think, 30.5, and it hit in the first half.
Yeah, it was done and over with by halftime at 31.
Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised.
I guess we can stay with NFL then. Do you want to just get into the NFL games are coming up?
Dude, I mean, we have a great slate of games coming up this weekend, in my opinion. I think they're very, very good matchups.
I think there's a lot of important matchups this weekend.
Very important matchups. Yeah. Very important.
That's why they're great. That's why they're freaking great, man.
Okay.
Which one do you want to start with?
Yeah. Which great matchup do you want to start with?
I don't have them in front of me, dude. I'm driving.
Okay, I'll tell you one that I'm actually looking forward to. I'm actually looking forward to the Lions-Chicago game. I know some people think that they're going to take them easy, but I think the Lions Chicago game is going to be a good game.
Yeah, I mean, well, we already saw on Thanksgiving, right, that Chicago can 100% play with the Lions. I think they 100% took their foot off the gas pedal on Thanksgiving Day. I think they kind of realized, look, man, we'd rather lose this game than win this game. But
can you
either
tell
way,
me who
one way or
the
another,
quarterback? Can you tell me who the quarterback of the Bears is?
right now,
Yeah, who the quarterback of the Bears is,
isn't it
and
Justin?
who threw for like almost 300 yards in that Thanksgiving game against the Lions?
Oh, who was the backup QB playing? It wasn't. No, was it Fields? Was Fields back?
David, can
Okay,
you just
so
tell him?
the
Packers.
played them on Thanksgiving, and
Packers.
Vikings won. They played the week before against the Bears. Because the week before, the Bears were up with like 15, they were up 15, with like,
No, the
What?
Packers played the Lions on
oh,
Thanksgiving.
you're right. It was the Packers.
Gosh,
Wow.
come on, you two.
I
thought
knew it
David
was a
gonna
divisional
step in.
game.
Jeez, Love had a game. Love had a game. But I just don't know. I think but you're right. They underestimated Justin Fields the week before the first game he was back, and Fields played great. Now they're in Chicago. I kind of expect him to play great too. He's gonna use his legs. I'm not saying they're gonna beat Detroit, but I think they have a shot to beat them. In all honesty,
For all my hopes, I hope that the Lions have figured it out concerning of who they play next week. No, in 2 weeks. Sorry, and who they play in 2 weeks. I hope they figured it out. But yeah, I mean,
Dallas.
yeah, they play Dallas. I mean, the Lions. I just feel like they are 8-3, or however they are right now, 9-3. But they do not look the part right now. I feel like they've had a very, very bad stretch of games where, yeah, they came out on top, but I wouldn't say like the Eagles where it's barely, because every time Detroit plays like a semi-decent team, I feel like they get beat.
yeah,
I don't know, and I feel like we even see it. You know, we saw it last week. We saw I'm sorry. We saw it last week though, right? Like I texted in the group chat, they were up 21-0 in the first quarter on the Saints, and then by the end of the game, I mean, it's with 4 minutes left, dude. It's a one possession ball game, and it's like, how the hell did we get into this situation, right? Like what is missing? And I don't know, man. Like, and that's a team like, again, that's the Saints. That's a 5-6 Saints team that has a shot at the division because the division is so crappy over there, right? Like, how are you managing to let the team have that big of a chance come back on you? And if you can't even put teams like this away throughout the entirety of the game, and the Saints had many opportunities in that game, they just shot themselves in the foot. They had plenty of opportunities to come back, but they just continue to miss on their opportunities. So
Yeah,
if you can't put small teams away like that, if you're looking at the Lions, how are you going to be able to handle it all come playoff time?
Yeah, I completely agree. Guys, I think this is the first week since earlier on. There's 2 teams playing Monday. Super confusing. They're playing at the same time too. Really throwing me off there. You have the Green Bay Packers against the Giants, and then you have Miami against Tennessee. None of those games are really like super interesting. I just thought it was interesting that for some reason we're throwing in Monday night games already. I don't know why we just don't do Saturday games right now, because there's no NFL or there's no college football right now. So
That's
normally they
disrespect
do.
to Army Navy.
But I will say the 1 o'clock game that I'm very interested in, actually there might be 2, but one of them is Baltimore versus LA Rams. I mean, the Rams have hit their stride. Yeah. Their offense is looking good. Now Baltimore's got a great defense, so you can't take that away from them. But I think in LA, I think they could end up being the favorites over there playing in LA. I think LA has the nod there.
Well, the game's not in LA.
You're right, it isn't. It's in Baltimore. So I take that back. But I still think it's going to be a good game. Looks like the Rams defense is starting to show up too. Now, Lamar Jackson is currently fighting a sickness. They say he's going to be ready by Sunday, but who knows what that offense is going to look like.
Panthroiditis.
Yeah. So we'll see what that is. But the second biggest matchup of this weekend that I'm looking forward to, guys, is Seattle versus San Fran. Because
Yeah.
Gino had a great performance against, so call it, one of the best defenses in the league. It's a divisional game. Seattle has to win this game. The Niners just spanked the Eagles, right? So now they're going to be like, oh, we're on top of the world. They're going to take Seattle lightly. And I think that's going to end up killing themselves. And I think Seattle might actually win this game because they're going to take them lightly.
It's definitely a possibility. I mean, now there's a chance that the Niners were so focused in on the Eagles game that they didn't pay attention to much after that, and they just kind of focused and used all their energy up in that game. That's a possibility for sure. It's going to be interesting just because it is a divisional game, so you never know. Seattle, like you said, looked good last week, and I think it's going to be a great game. I don't know if the Seahawks necessarily win that game, but it should be a good game nonetheless.
Yeah, I'm on the same page with you. Doing the early parlay, look over that I do. I took him getting 10.5 for Seattle. I think it's gonna be closer than I feel like a lot of people think. Yeah, they're getting 10.5.
Yeah,
I think it's gonna be closer than a lot of people think. I think it's probably gonna be more or less an offensive shootout again, kind of like it was with Dallas. You know what I mean? I think that's just what the hell. Come on, guys, how we running this 4-way stop signs here, boys? Come on, ain't rocket science. There we go, baby. Sorry. Yeah, I think it's just gonna be a lot closer than people are thinking here, man. I think Seattle's gonna give San Francisco a run for their money. I feel like they put a lot of their focus and energy into this past week with the Eagles, and I feel like they're just going to be riding off of that high right now. And I feel like Seattle not necessarily going to win, but they're going to be able to smack them down and bring them back down to earth.
Yeah, absolutely. Next game, 4:00 game on the radar.
Mm-hmm.
Buffalo versus Kansas City. Now, both teams that are desperately needing a win.
Mm-hmm,
both have been playing terrible lately. And very interested to see how Buffalo does going into the Arrowhead. I'm not like Josh Allen's is going to have to carry that team. We've seen it. If he's not playing well, they're going to lose. If he brings his A game, defense steps up. I think Kansas City's going to lose. I think Buffalo has a better defense than Kansas City does. Now, the issue with Kansas City is the drops. So if they can bring that in, I have a feeling, it could be a blowout in Kansas City, but it just depends on what Josh Allen we're going to see. And that's what scares me. We don't know what we're going to get out of Josh Allen this week.
Yeah, we don't know what we're going to get out of Josh Allen any week at this point, right? But I know for the Bills, I feel like for the Bills, it's a much more costly, much must-win matchup than it is for the Chiefs. I saw something where it said Bills' percent chance for the playoffs goes down to 19% with a loss here in Arrowhead. And granted, I don't think they're going to win. I think the Chiefs are going to end up figuring out a way to come out on top of it. Even with the Bills being as hot as they're starting to get right now, the offense is starting to put up more points, but I just don't think it's going to make a difference inside of Arrowhead, and it's going to suck because you look at it now, and then they're going to be 6. If they lose, they're 6-7, and it's like, okay, what do you do from here? You have a team that's built like this, and nobody thought you would be 6-7 at this point in the season, and here you are. So what happens now?
Got to win out.
Yeah, and the big thing, like I was saying last week, is this is a tough stretch of game for Buffalo. They play the Chiefs this week, then you play they play the Cowboys that week after, then you play the Chargers, you play the Patriots, and then you end the season with the Dolphins. Then you're thinking there's 3 or 4 games in there where you're possibly going to lose those games. Heck, even the Patriots game, the Patriots defense looked good the past several weeks. They've been the team that's allowed the least amount of points within the whole month of November. But they were 0 whatever during November, which is crazy. And like you said, the Chiefs, it's also a must-win game for them because they're 8-4 right now. Sure, the division's pretty much locked when you have Denver at 6-6, but you're going for seeding at this point. Right now, you're in 4th place in seeding because you have the head-to-head loss against Jacksonville. You're behind Baltimore. You're behind Miami, and so it's crunch time right now, and both teams looking for a win. I agree with Christian. I do think the Chiefs pull it off. But if that's the case in Buffalo, that's going to be really rough for them to come back for that season.
Yeah, it's they got to win out, right? You got to finish it out. You got to win 4 straight games. And I just don't know if you're going to do that. For our sake, it might be better if Buffalo loses because Dallas is playing them next week. And I like when Buffalo is on the ropes in that game. I really do. It's a must-win situation for them. But at this point, you got to take one game at a time. And, Josh Allen, I think he needs to build off of the game he had against the Eagles, right? If he can build off that game, I think you're going to look at a decent game here. But right now in Arrowhead, it's kind of tough to go against Kansas City.
Yep.
But I guess we'll talk about the last one. Matchup of the week, Sunday Night Football. We got the Eagles versus Dallas. Must win by both teams.
Yeah, I mean, oh, what the heck? Did I put my head through the
Yeah,
Sorry about
anyway, must-win games now because, I mean, think about it this way. The Eagles win this game. They're up 2 in the division, and they've ended the season with Seahawks, Giants, Cardinals, Giants. The Cowboys, after this, they have to play the Dolphins. They have to play the Bills. They have to play Detroit, and they end the season with Washington. But you play 3 good teams right after this game. And so this is why it's a must win. You get two of those games, two game lead, and then they're having to play their own kind of gauntlet, their own mini gauntlet, if you will, I guess. And so, I mean, the big thing to focus on right here, it's going to be that slot receiver. That's what's killed them all year. Anybody who lines in the slot, whether it be a tight end, whether it be CD, whether it be Debo, for some reason, they're getting theirs all the time, no matter what. I mean, we saw CD do it last year. For some reason, we are not matching up our best corners against these slot receivers. We are saying, no, linebacker, go get him. Safety, go get him. When we really should have Slay just shadowing CD around wherever he goes. Because who used to be our slot receiver and played it well? Maddox. He used to be the guy that would play the slot and killed it. Now, like you said, linebackers are lining up on him. We don't have a linebacker that can do that. We haven't all year. Now, Shaq Leonard is great, but Shaq Leonard is going to be more of a zone coverage, blitz kind of guy. And Morrow was the same guy. Morrow can't drop into coverage. He sucks. Look what he did last week. And I think that's going to be a huge factor. And I think because of that reason, Dallas has a slight edge on the Eagles because they're just going to kill the ball up the middle and run quick slants, and that's going to be an issue. Look at Brock Purdy last week. What was his longest throw? Like 6 yards? I mean, it's just that they know how to beat this defense at this point, and I hope that they make the adjustments. I just don't know. I think you're right. You gotta drop Slay or Bradbury to run in the slot to cover these guys and keep a one-on-one man coverage on them. Otherwise, you're just going to be screwed, Maybe Blankenship comes back and plays great. He didn't look that great last week, in my opinion, but safety help is great too. When you have someone like we had in the past with Jenkins dropping down and covering that was great too. We don't have that either. Yeah. So they're going to keep on killing that middle until they can't know anymore. And we'll just see what happens. But right now I have to give the slight edge to Dallas in Dallas. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to pick who wins this game, obviously. It's just more for me. This was I was super biased at the beginning of the season. I had the Eagles going 16-1. I mean, I knew that wasn't going to happen, but this was the game I had them losing, and that schedule was the away game at Dallas. The Eagles and Dallas always split 1-1 when it comes to seasonal games, and I mean, this is a must-win game. I mean, all games are must-win games. This one is a divisional game. The Eagles win this. They are 4-0 in their division. And I mean, it has huge tiebreaker implications. And again, like I said, they'll be in the season with 4 games that should be winnable after the Dallas game. And like I said, it's going to come down to, can the defense stop the slot corners? Can they get them to 3rd and 7 and make sure they can't convert? And that's what we're going to have to see.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting. Yeah, I mean, as you both have already said, huge implications on this game. Fighting to keep the 1 seed. So I feel like you guys are really already touch base on absolutely everything that could be a touch base on that game specifically. Just, we got to figure something out over the middle here. Get that slot covered up, man. And CD is going to be playing in the slot all game this week. All game, he's going to sit in the slot.
Did it all game last time? Did it all game last year as well?
Yep. So that's all.
Hey, Shaq, if you're listening, it just takes 1 big hit in the middle, and he's done.
Bounty gate.
But that's funny. But nah, dude, you have to have I feel like at this point with what Debo just did to you last week, you have no choice but to have Slay shadow or Bradbury shadow CD around the game.
Yeah, and I just hope that the coordinator can make that decision, or else it's going to be a long game, and we're going to end up in a shootout against them.
Now, don't keep in mind too, guys. Our offense didn't look that great last week. They looked good, but they didn't look that great. Keep in mind, we have a key player coming back this week. Dallas Goedert is supposed to be dressing for this game. You know, the last time he got hurt was against Dallas. And I think Dallas Goedert is going to have a good game this week. I think you're going to have to rely on him. You rely on him on those short little passes. It's going to open up those shots to take out those corners because those corners are not good by any means. A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith on the outside are better than both their corners. So you gotta kill the middle, open up the outside, and just let them cook.
I'll tell you right now, do you know who's going to have a monster game? Is DeAndre Swift.
I knew you were
What?
You can turn off your Bluetooth real quick.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, did you not see It is off, dude. Did you not see Sirianni come out and say the other day? Because there were people posted outside of the NovaCare Center at like 6:30 in the morning before practice with a big green sign that said "Run the ball." And Sirianni came out in a press conference and said, "Yeah, you know, I like that the fans are passionate about it. I love it, and you know, we're gonna run the ball more. We're gonna run the ball more." And I think DeAndre Swift's about to get a big game this weekend. Probably 150 plus 2 tutties.
He needs to. I feel like it's one thing that no one has been trying to do against Dallas is establishing that run game. And I think that's where you beat them. They don't have the linebacking core. They're injured. They didn't get Leonard. They're weak in the interior line. They are weak. Obviously, when you go to the outside, you have Dexter Lawrence and Micah Parsons. You're a little bit stronger, but on the insides, they're not that great. You have to be able to establish that run game, and that's going to open up your RPOs that you're good at. That's going to open up your play actions that you're good at, your bootlegs that you're good at. If you can establish a decent run game, and obviously turnovers, you cannot turn the ball over. Now, I feel like the past several weeks, the Eagles have been doing a lot better at the turnover ratio here. But we've seen all season where we've had very bad turnovers and very inopportune times.
Well, the one good news and takeaway is, at least from this game, is we're guaranteed to have neutral weather. Weather's not going to.
Yeah.
Yes.
Open the dome up.
Yes.
Put the sprinklers on.
Oh, leave it to Jerry to open it up. I'm telling you. I'm 4 games in a row with bad weather. It's just, it takes a toll. You can't run the offense you want to run. But yes, I love it. Thank you for pointing that out because that's been bugging me the past month of terrible weather. But hey, it's going to be a great week in the NFL. But I'll do my nut or bust picks if you guys want.
Yeah, do you want to do that now, or do you want to start a new one real quick? Can you do it in 3.5 minutes?
I can count it down. I got it.
I bet you can nut or bust in 3.5 minutes.
Starting at quarterback, guys. I touched base on it earlier. I'm starting Justin Fields this week. Justin Fields is going to have a good game against Detroit, and I believe it is in Chicago. So I think he's going to have a good week. Just start him. He'll be good. At running back, I know I've been touching base on this like crazy, but I like Eckler. Eckler needs to have a big week. He hasn't had one in a couple weeks. He's also going up against the worst rushing defense in the league in Denver, and they're going to have to rely on him in order to win that game against Denver. My other running back that is a start, it's going to have to be Etienne. Yes, they're going up against the Browns. I know that's not a good matchup, but Trevor Lawrence is not. I don't think he's even playing this week. I think they're sitting him because he sprained his ankle. They're going to have to rely heavily on Etienne in order to win this game. Wide receiver, guys, I know they don't have a great matchup this week, but you got to go Stephon Diggs, right? Kansas City has been able to hold wide receivers to a low amount of points, but Diggs will get what Diggs needs, and Josh Allen will rely on him. Don't be surprised if Diggs has 2 touchdowns in this game. They've been wanting this game all year. They can't wait. My other start, I'm going to have to say Tyler Lockett. They relied heavily last week on DK Metcalf to get the job done. He had 3 touchdowns last week. Now, yes, does he have confidence in DK Metcalf? Absolutely. But Geno Smith is going to have to get Tyler Lockett involved in order to beat Sam Fran. And I think this is the week Tyler Lockett has a good week. He'll probably go for about 15, 16 points. Don't be surprised. He might even go for more. Tight end, we touched base on it too. Dallas Goedert's coming back this week. Cowboys do not have a linebacking core. So Dallas Goedert will be a great start coming back off that injury. And he has a bad taste in his mouth because they are the ones that took them out of the game. And for my defense start of the week, I'm going Houston. They're going up against the Jets. They looked great last week against Denver. I look for them to keep that going, and I think they're going to have a good game. Don't be surprised if they end up having a defensive touchdown. That's it.
I'll go through some real quick who I think you should start. Start Browns defense. You have Beathard starting for the Jaguars. I don't think he's going to do that good. If you want another person to start, I'll give you Mike Evans against the Falcons. I feel like he'll have a good game against the Falcons. Running back, I would do Achane from the Dolphins. Really good running back. He's back in the mix. He had a really good game last week coming back. They'll probably have more focus on the offense. And let's see, wide receiver wise, I'm going to go anybody from the bus wide receivers. No one from the Niners. I like the cornerback core in Seattle. And if we want to do what wide receiver do I want to do? Aquarius, whatever. Aqueous St. Brown. However you say his name.
Amon-Ra.
Oh, his brother is the other one that sounds like a fish.
Yeah, Amon-Ra, buddy.
Ramen.
Yeah.
I just call him ramen. I like it. I think Ramen's gonna have a good game.
Christian,
now.
10 seconds. Hurry. But do real quick.
Yeah. So I guess for mine, as I just said, I don't really have a lot. I guess let me think real quick. For running back, I'll say DeAndre Swift as my trust. Like I said, I think he's gonna go up. My bust for running back, real quick, Nick. I'm gonna go against you. Sit Austin Eckler. At this point, you haven't seen a single damn thing from the guy to justify that he should be in your starting lineup. And I would know I'm a Austin Eckler fantasy owner, and he's been in my lineup for the past 4 weeks, and he just found himself out of my lineup this week. So that's definitely
a big hit.
Yeah, it's gonna be a bust for me on him this week. Wide receiver, David, I'm once again I'm actually gonna go against you there too. I think Brandon Ayuk has a big game. You said you like the Seattle cornerbacks, but these are the same Seattle cornerbacks that just let CD run wild for 190. So I do like Brandon Ayuk over there. I think the Niners are going to be airing this ball out a lot. A lot of talk to Purdy still coming that he's just only a yak king and all this, that, and the third. I think he's going to try to air the ball out, and I think Ayuk's going to be there.
I really hope he does try to air it out because damn it if you don't see 2 to 3 interceptions from him.
Yeah, Briac Purdy.
I would love to see him air a ball 15 to 20 yards out. I'm telling you, he can't do it. He can't do it.
Let's see, a quarterback. What quarterback am I liking here? Tua. If you have Tua, start Tua. I like Tua this week against the Titans. I think that's going to be a great, favorable matchup. I do like
really
Brown.
You like Tyreek, is what you mean to say. You just like Tyreek.
I mean, yeah, but
put Peely on him on the outside. No way he's dropping over 40.
What am I missing? A tight end? Hawkinson.
Yeah, you are missing Hawkinson. That.
Are you sure? Because JJ's coming back.
Who cares, bro? I'm still going Hawkinson.
JJ McCarthy?
I think you're gonna probably see one of the worst statistic games from Justin Jefferson this week. And I don't think it's going to be on Justin Jefferson. I think it's going to be on Josh Dobbs.
Yeah, absolutely. He doesn't know him.
Yep. So
I don't disagree.
Yeah. So I guess the next thing I'm going to talk about, because I know we don't have that much time left.
Wait.
Like probably.
Oh, okay. Hold on. Go ahead. You might talk about the same topic I'm talking about.
Well, I was going to bring up something I wanted to talk about was going to be the transfer portal and the NILs.
Yeah, bro. What in the hell is going on, boys?
Okay, Christian, before you start with Etienne, let me tell you something. They didn't even really use Etienne as much as they used to. They were relying heavily on Johnson, and Johnson solidified himself as the main back, which is why Etienne wanted to go. Johnson looked very good this year, and Etienne needed to go. Do I like the fact that he's gone? I love the 1-2 punch that they have there. I think Napier sucks, but I'm interested to see where Etienne ends up going.
I think Monday I'm doing a hoodie reveal, and I will decide what college I'm committing to on Monday. Boys, I'm entering the transfer portal as well, buddy. I'm the next
Christian
one
in the transfer portal.
Yup.
No, but I mean, we saw a record-breaking day on Monday. Over 1,700 people entered the transfer portal, which is the most ever in a single day in history. We have over 2,000 people who've already entered the portal before any ball games have taken place. I mean, you have big names out there. Kyle McCord just joined the portal. DJ Olawale from Oregon State just joined the portal.
He joined the portal again.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's in the portal. Van Dyke from Miami, he joined the portal. You have the Dylan Gabriel from Oklahoma, he joined the portal. The UCLA quarterback, I forget his name, he joined the portal. You have a lot of big name people who joined the portal, and like it just this new day of NIL, it's just not what it used to be. I just kind of want to hear your guys' takes on the transfer portal and NIL right now.
I don't like it because now these kids are going to go and make millions of dollars when they're already getting a free education. So I'm not a huge fan of it. And when you just told me that DJ just hit that portal, you know who I think he's going to, and it's going to pay me to say it. FSU. He's the exact quarterback that they want. I think he's the exact style quarterback that they want there, and I think he's going to go to FSU. Oh, that's going to pain. Oh, that's so annoying.
If not there, probably Cam from Washington State may end up at FSU. The Washington State quarterback.
That's not bad. That's not bad, but I just have a feeling they have their eye on DJ for sure. I think that's where they're heading. But wow, I mean, how many people are trying to go to Colorado? That's what
a lot of people left Colorado.
Yeah, I'm about to say Colorado.
Yeah, I heard there a lot of stuff came out about how they treated their players and stuff, and I'm not surprised. Dion only wants to treat his players that are performing well. The other ones he treats like dog. I mean, it's been known that that's what he does. And if you don't like that mentality, do better. Yeah. I mean, I don't know what you want me to tell you.
I was about to say Deion Sanders has made it known, since even when he was in high school coaching in high school, the star players are going to get treated like the star players. If you want to be treated like a star player, step up and be a star player, right? And that's just how it is. Everybody has a chance to be one, but if you're not one, you're not one. And so everybody should know.
Urban Meyer. If anyone ever watched the Swamp documentary, that's what he did. He used to give his star players steak dinners every night, and the other people would get stupid lunch lady meals and have garbage meals. So, and he always said, if you wanted to step up and play well, you'll get rewarded. And I like that system. You go out there and play and give your 100%, you're going to get recognized.
So I'm sorry, David, to cut you off, but I never even got to throw the take in here yet about the portal. I just think I don't hate it, but it's at this point right now, it's way too crazy. I feel like, there has to be certain rules and regulations to this. I feel like if you're talking on only a 4-year eligibility, you should only be able to hit the portal once. So people like DJ Olugaloa, he won't have the opportunity he's getting right now. Emory Jones with Florida, I know he did the same thing. He bounced around quite a bit, hit the portal a couple of times. So I feel like that's one thing that has to happen is the restriction to that. But as well, there needs to just be some type of restriction coming in on the NIL now, right? Because that's where the entire problem is coming on to, because everybody's transferring and leaving for money. I was all for these athletes getting paid. However, I didn't think in my head it was going to come to like, oh man, they're out here. They can literally sit in college, say, nah, I'm not going to the league this year because I'm making more money in college than it would be for me to go to a crap team and mess this, that, and the third up. And to me, that blows my mind. And then you also have some kids on the same team who are getting absolutely nothing, who are still walk-ons from the team and are paying to go to that school. So there has to be some regulation there. I understand maybe giving your star players more. You want to give them, I don't know, bro. You want to give them like $100,000 a year, your star players to play there. Okay, give them $100,000 a year, but you still got to give your bottom players some money as well. It needs to be more distributed out. You can't be giving some guy like
this is the problem.
Caleb Williams is making $10 million this year in college. That's crazy.
Bro,
that's
you know who's making more than that?
Livy Dunn.
Arch Manning. And he's not even the starter.
Yeah, dude, it's crazy.
You're right. It's a problem. And I think I agree with you, Christian. I think they do need to bring it to where you can only transfer one at this point. Now, I get it right now because the NIL just started. I get making those regulations, I get it. But I think after this year, now that you got a full system going, I think you only get to transfer once in your 4 years, because that's not fair to these other people as well. And, like you said, touch base, everybody deserves to get something, right? It's not fair that you're getting $14 million and
Plus a full ride.
someone that walked on isn't getting anything. Now, maybe those walk-ons get an incentive bonus for making the team. I don't know. But I think at least if they're making all this money, it makes me realize that every single freaking player on that team, whether you start or not, should have a free ride to school.
Yeah.
At least, because they're making so much money, they can at least get a free ride to school.
Here's the bigger picture, I feel like, that hasn't come yet, but if there's not rules and regulations to come to the NIL, this situation will come. What's going to happen when you have these college athletes who decide, okay, I'm going to stay here 4 years, making $15 million a year. I now walk out of college with $60 million. I was the best quarterback in college this year. Nah, screw the NFL. I'm done. I'm cool. I'm going to walk away.
Yeah.
And now it's okay, now you're losing your top talent. Like, the NFL is losing its chance to get its top talent that they've been waiting on maybe for years. You have a team who hasn't played, like Caleb Williams. You figure, bro, a top team has been planning. If we can figure this out, we can get him. And, looking down the future, you're going to waste that now on a guy you're going to stay here for 3 years. Like, this is going to be our guy one day, and it's gone.
They're going to fix it. And here's the reason why they're going to fix it. They're going to make the cap space higher because now college is getting paid. So now the cap space is going to go up to where you can sign these people, like quarterbacks starting out at $20 million a year.
They already are, dude. They already are.
I'm just telling you. I'm talking about people that aren't even like. I'm just throwing numbers out there for this case. They're going to have to do that, otherwise you're not going to get them to commit. Because if I was them and I made $60 million just playing college, and I don't have to worry about any more CTE or anything like that, I'm taking the $60 million free school. Shoot, if I'm a top athlete, I'll go and be on the SEC network. I'll go and be doing something like that where I'm still having a cake job and I don't have to worry about my head being banged around.
Yep.
So you're right.
Yeah, I think y'all nailed it right on the head. Exactly what I was saying. I mean, now with the current NIL, the current transfer portal, it's free agency. It's free agency. You're paying these guys. Except it's worse than free agency. It's because it's every year. Every year, some guy could just leave to get a bigger deal. So you're having to make sure you're somehow keeping your players every single year, as opposed to 1 year or 2 years or 3 years, because you can transfer as many times as you want. You have JT Daniels, dude started at Georgia, then dude went to like USC, then he went to I forget where else he went. They ended up at Rice. At all the schools, he ended up at Rice. I mean, the college football we know is dead. There's no loyalty anymore. Yeah. It's who's giving you the biggest amount of money. Well, I sit on the bench for 1 year, get $1 million, and move somewhere else. Sure, I can. That's what I'm allowed to do. There needs to be legislation. There needs to be some sort of rules in place, or else this system is just going to be. It's going to be messed up, and for college football, it's just going to turn into a business. I'm all for players getting paid.
They screwed it up from the get-go. I've been saying it from the beginning. They're already getting a free ride to these top schools, right? And that's huge. But I think you don't give them money. I think if they really want to make money, they should be allowed to have shoe deals or any type of
let them have
like
deals,
and that's how they make money. Whereas they just went out and said, no, now you can pay them to go there. And now it's a huge problem.
Except it's kind of not. Do you guys know the rules of the NIL? The school by rule doesn't pay the players. It's all booster. It's all boosters.
Yes, I know.
And
it's coming from boosters and alum. I know.
Each team's NIL is different. That's why there needs to be legislation. I mean, you have teams like A&M who have the best boosters in the nation, who we just saw buy out a $70 million contract, but are still somehow the highest NIL dealers in the entire NCAA. It needs to be one flat thing. It's like there needs to be some salary cap, and it doesn't need to be like the MLB where you can pay a luxury tax for the salary cap.
It needs to be a straight cap.
I don't want these Bamas turning into the New York Yankees.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, to be fair, Saban's probably out in the next couple of years. I think he's going to retire. I mean, he does. What does he have to gain now? I mean, he'll go down as one of the best college coaches ever.
Yeah.
So
but to be fair to even that, though, think of all the money and success that he's already brought to Bama. Now you just, once he says, okay, I'm done, you just pay the next best coach that's left out there. You say, hey, look, you're already in a contract making $25 a year. How's $50 a year sound? We'll give it to you.
Well, so you're saying now the cap space goes to the coach too? I love it. I think we probably have to get into Dubs and Chugs now. I mean, we can get in the dubs and chugs, but we still need Christian's not so
Yeah, the
much
payday
payday
parlay.
parlay.
I didn't know much time you had left.
Dude, that's so perfect because I totally crafted it all up last night and sent it to Nick. So here we go, boys. Once again, we're throwing another Hail Mary ball out there, a little 12-leg parlay. And that's what I like, though. That's how I roll around here. So set it all up. I'm going to take the Rams plus 7.5 versus the Ravens. I'm going to take the Saints on the money line versus the Panthers. The Bengals on the money line versus the Colts. I'm going to take over 32.5 total points in the Browns and Jags game. I know that might come as a surprise. I think there's going to be a couple points scored there. I'm going to take the Falcons money line versus the Bucks. Texans money line versus the Jets. Seattle plus 10.5 versus the Niners. Vikings money line versus the Raiders. Broncos money line versus the Chargers. Chiefs money line versus the Bills. Eagles money line versus Dallas. And Miami minus 13.5 versus Tennessee. Are you taking the truck?
Yeah.
Okay.
Come on, Cardi.
Love you.
Aw.
Cardi.
Interesting. That's a big one.
You don't know. I've had your
Yeah.
thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey,
Is that
guys.
it?
Yeah, that was all.
All right, cool. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it'll be interesting. That's a big one. But it's a parlay, and it shouldn't be an easy one, right? I will say I had a 4-legger that hit in this podcast, so that's nice.
I have a 3-legger that hits every night.
Ooh, just ask Brooklyn. But hey, I mean, if you don't have anything else to talk about, I don't know whose bet of the week it is and whatnot.
How about I say me? How about I go with my bet of the week, huh?
Okay.
Let's
All
hear
right.
it.
And I think I'm gonna go along.
Wait a minute. No.
Shohei Ohtani en route to Toronto.
That's cool. No. David, over 100 total run plays is what you called last week.
Oh, okay.
What was the final to that?
They haven't played the game.
Oh, what the fuck?
They play this. They play this Saturday.
So why the f did you call it last week?
I called on Monday or maybe last week, but because the game was coming
No,
up.
it was his hot take of the week.
Yeah, this is my hot take of the week. No, but here's what I'll say. Right now, the game, because I want to talk about it a little bit. Right now, the game is 3-point favorites to Army. Army has won, I want to say 5 of the last 7 games played, and the over under is set at, I believe, 27.5 is what the over under is set at right now. Now, I think this over hits. I know we talk about how much they run the ball. I mean, I looked at the stats. The best receiver on Army has 200 yards and 2 touchdowns, and the best receiver on Navy has 300 yards and 4 touchdowns. Not good. But I think we get an over here, and I think Navy wins it. I think Navy doesn't only cover the spread, but they also win. And you know what? I'll keep in line with my take of rushes. Now I know how are they going to get 28 points and also run 100 run plays. I don't know. We'll see. Do I want to be punished? Maybe I'm a masochist. Who knows? But that's going to be my hot take of the weekend.
Interesting. No, it's cool. I mean, you gotta think Army is all about ground and pound, right? That's what they do, right? That's what
Apparently so
Army's
is the
known for.
Navy.
Boots on the ground. Navy, not as much. They're more air and sea. So who knows? Yeah, did you like that? That's what I thought you liked.
That was horrible.
But I mean, it'll be a fun game. It's always a fun game. Interesting to see Army's the favorite. But I'll go into it, guys. We're gonna switch it up with dubs and chugs this time. I think Christian, you're gonna like this. So starting with tonight's games, we're gonna go Wizards versus Nets.
I do like this, baby.
No, not basketball.
I'll take the Nets. I'll take the Nets for sure. The Wizards, they've been keeping some games close here and there, but overall, the Wizards are absolutely trash. So I'm just gonna go ahead with the Nets.
Oh my goodness, I absolutely hate this, but yeah, I'm gonna go with the Nets. They're overall better team. I think McCall Bridges will end up going off tonight. I want to say it'll be close, but when your best player is Kyle Kuzma right now, I think probably the Nets are going to end up taking this.
I was hoping someone would pick differently, but you're right. It's in Brooklyn. I got the Nets winning this game. So we'll go to the next game. Cavaliers versus the Heat tonight.
Ooh.
Where is it at?
It's in Miami.
Miami.
Golly.
You know what? At home, I think I'll take Miami and Jimmy Buckets and company.
I feel Miami's having a down year right now. Give me Cleveland. Give me Donovan Mitchell. I think he has a good game, and I'll take Cleveland stealing one away.
I like it.
Cleveland Steamers.
All right. Yeah, I mean, that's gonna be a tough game, but I got the Cavs winning this game. I think they're gonna end up winning this one in Miami. Going to the next game, we got the Clippers versus the Jazz.
Oh. I'll take the Clippers, man. I think I'm going to take the Clippers here.
Yeah, I'll probably end up taking the Clippers here too. And I know they've had their troubles this year. I feel like they're slowly starting to get back together as a team, trying to find where they mesh with each other. I don't think Utah has played good at all this year. I think their best player maybe is Markkanen is maybe their best player right now.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna go with the Clippers.
Yeah, I mean they're due, right? They're gonna have to do something. It's kind of tough. Clippers suck. Jazz aren't that great. But yeah, I mean you think the Clippers are gonna win, but I don't. I think the Jazz are gonna win this one at home.
You like Jazz?
Going into our next game, which would make it game number 4.
Good counting.
I know, right? We got the Raptors versus the Hornets.
The Raptors aren't good anymore.
I can't trust the Hornets with my life.
Give me LaMelo. Give me LaMelo.
Right.
Let me see him go off.
Right.
I'll take the Hornets in there, formerly the Bobcats.
That's right. I love it. Give me those Hornets as well. I think they're going to come out with a sting. It's going to be great. All right, guys. Last game in the NBA. It's the finals tomorrow night, 8:30. Pacers versus the Lakers.
Pacers, easy money. Pacers. This means the world to them.
We didn't get the touch on it. I mean, the Lakers looked good against a freaking Pelicans team yesterday who shot like 30% from the field. I'm going to say that the Pacers get this. I feel like they're hot. I like Halliburton a lot. I like Miles Turner against AD.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to be nice. But you know what? Just to be different, I'm going to take those Lakers. Not that they need the money or anything, but I think the Lakers going to win.
LeBron needs it. What do you mean?
They can win the in-season tournament, but they won't win the whole thing. So that's okay with me. I'm fine with it. So we'll get into basketball. So we got football because we have to be super quick. First game, we got the Bucks versus the Falcons.
I was sitting on this one all week. Yeah, I think I'll take the Falcons. I'll take the Bucks. We'll take the Bucks. Let's go Bucks.
Final answer?
Falcons. Go Falcons.
Final answer.
Falcons.
All right, I'll go Buccaneers. I think it's just going to be based off of quarterbacks right now, and I like Baker over Heineken. Heineken,
yeah. Heineken is not a good beer, in my opinion. But I agree with you. I like the Bucks in this game. So we'll go to the next game, guys. We got the Rams versus the Ravens.
Yeah, it's a tough one, but it's in Baltimore. I think the Rams keep it close, but I don't think they get the win. I'm going to go Baltimore.
Yeah, I mean, it's going to be interesting. Like Nick was talking about, the Rams offense has been looking really good. The Ravens offense is kind of lackluster right now. They're without Andrews now for the rest of the year. We saw them do pretty well against the Chargers. Oh, what happens here? I'll still give it to the Ravens. I feel like their defense is probably still better than what the Rams offense is. So I'm going to go with the Ravens here.
Yeah, it's going to be tough. I mean, obviously Rams hit a stride the last couple of weeks on offense. But they haven't played they played pretty well last week against the Browns, but they don't have a quarterback there. So it's kind of tough. But I think the Ravens are going to get this one in Baltimore. I really do. It's going to be a close game, closer than what people might think it would be. Next game, we'll go Lions versus the Bears.
Oh, my.
Yeah, I think Chicago keeps it close, but Detroit just can't afford to drop it. I'm going to go Detroit.
Not only can Detroit...
we got to hurry up.
Not only can Detroit afford to drop it, the Bears can afford to win it, so they can get better picks. I'm going to pick the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. It's in Chicago. Bears already have pretty much solidified the number 1 pick. right? So now they're just trying to get another inside 10. But I think the Bears are going to win this one in Chicago. Next game, we're going to go Seattle versus San Fran.
I'll take San Fran. Seattle will keep it close, but it's going to be San Fran.
I think San Fran wins this. I'll say by 7.
I think Seattle wins this. I say by 7.
Jeez.
Going into, is this number 4? So last game before the tiebreaker, we'll go Broncos versus Chargers.
Ooh, give me the Broncos.
You know what? I think the Chargers play spoiler here, and I think they ruin the Broncos' hopes of playoffs here. I think that's going to be the Chargers.
I agree. I think the Chargers are going to get this game done. Not even close. Actually, it will be close, but I think the Chargers are going to get this done. And
scored
tiebreaker
6
game,
last
guys. We got the Bills versus the Chiefs.
Oh,
Give me the Chiefs 27-24.
I'm going to say Chiefs win this one. I'll say 24-13.
I think Bills win this one 30-28. All right, that's it. All right, guys. Well,
good one.
Enjoy the weekend. A lot of great matchups this weekend. Have a couple drinks. Enjoy it. And we'll also keep in mind, guys, we got playoffs in our money league. So, you know,
Oh, yeah.
who's winning those? We'll touch base
We're in
on
the
it
second. We're in the semis right now.
Yeah, we'll touch base on Monday, see what it's looking like. But as always, hey, enjoy the weekend.
I love that band.
Deuces.
The mind end. No.
The sports dream. From hot takes to deep dive, it's a winning regime. Come join the hype. We're not just blowing steam. We're known for our hot takes, blazing like fire, bringing heat to the table, never preaching to the choir, debating on players, teams, and even strategies. We keep it real, the sugar-coated fallacies.